I use those.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would think it would be nice to have some kind of a downloadable format. You said DVD for the voices or whatever, but I think if you could get the encyclopedia on a DVD or a set of CDs or whatever, so that you could download it. I mean, pay the full price, whatever, but because it would be so easy to index and searchable.
We're thinking about that and working on it. I'm thinking the thing to do would be to have it in the back of the book so that you can have the hard and the DVD at the same time. But I haven't discussed that with Mr. Dart.
Get Brandon to talk to him. We'll do anything for Brandon evidently.
Well, he's very good to Robert Jordan and the Robert Jordan estate. Very good.
But that's something so many people found useful with the Oxford English dictionary.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to search off of a CD, it gives you a whole different way of dealing with the dictionary. If we did a CD, is there anything else people, just fantasize what you'd like to see on a CD in the back of the book?
Clothing, maps, anything pictorial.
Visuals.
Anything visual that you can add to it, hopefully better artistic.
Yeah, I mean, if there's art, and obviously we love
Official
the
art.
covers, but if it's official art, or even if it's done by a fan, but you guys,
Approve
approve it, and you feel that it is accurate, then, I mean, any visual media is.
Any more detailed explanations that don't come out in text, like where maybe there are two things in his notes, where some explanation of what went into it. If there was a DVD and it was like, we decided not to put this in because of X, but any type of interaction, kind of where you guys are sitting down talking.
Would that be fun?
What didn't
The
go
way
in,
we
what did go in.
hid stuff in the glossaries in the earlier books to make sure you read them. And it was fun to do that.
There and then.
Interactive timeline, because I know you have those spreadsheets, and maybe you could say, I want to know what's happened on the 14th day of Saban in 999, which is during the main storyline, obviously.
Genealogy trees.
That's a tough one.
Sorry, I'm bumping it. Okay, sorry, we're at the creature.
Compilation of the Corinthian cycle, or the pieces that you have, at least. So those of us who are lazy don't have to flip through tons of books to get all the pieces.
Oh, that's not
Prophecies.
Yeah, the prophecies.
Prophecies and dark prophecies.
Yeah.
And the Corinthian cycle. Still
I had somebody, okay, you, and then Tracy in the back.
On the same topic earlier, what else would like to see would be kind of like the deleted scenes. Things that, because I'm sure he had lots of stuff that he wanted to put in the books that was cut out because of not so much space because of
No, that's not so. I was trying hard to cut Eye of the World, and I said, well, this can go in. He said, and sort of did his loyal the Ogier imitation. And I said, why? He said, well, I'm planning to build on that in book 4. And of course he was. He said, well, okay. So, any cutting was perhaps a paragraph. Do you know this? Of birth.
I actually do, from what you just said, the foreshadowing that he did was amazing. But
yeah.
If probably really hard, but any kind of indicators for foreshadowing to major events would also be awesome. Because he said it numerous times that, not to go to Matt, but who killed Asmodean is there, and he doesn't understand why we can't figure it out. I'd love to know why why he said that. Like,
He said somebody online had it right.
yeah,
Footnotes or
something.
And there was
Sort of
No, he didn't tell them.
That's right.
Yeah.
When I had earlier stuff, I'd like to see included. I'm a bit of a historian, and I'd love to see not just the Age of Legends, but also like the Trolloc Wars. And just more information on that expounded. Other things like that. Oh, and I'd also, sorry, the other thing I'd like to see is also the other areas, Shara, Land of the Madman, other areas that we've been told we're not going to be seeing in the actual books, but are still going to be a part of the
The hidden history.
Shelley? Okay, it was back there. I just saw
The
it.
letter to what he would like to see, I'd like to see where the individual quotations, the prophecies, the poetry, those things fit in the timeline. Is this a prophecy that occurred during the Cold War? Or how these, because they relate.
Take it under consideration.
Yeah, I know.
It's fantasy after all.
It might be 2 years after now.
He talked about the prophecy. What I'd like, and y'all were asking about the DVD format, what I'd like to see is the prophecies laid out on the DVD side by side by side, like maybe across the computer screen, so that you've got 3 columns with the different prophecies, or the partial prophecies of the Trolloc prophecy, the Seafolk prophecy, the Karakid, so that you can read them and compare them.
Just kind of put
Just put them in like a side by side, almost like he says spreadsheet. I don't know computer talk, but a 3-column format, so that you can read them and go, oh, this is what this one says, but this is what the Sin-Chan one says. I think that would be very interesting and intriguing. Don't know how easy or hard it would be for the DVD.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It could be done. It could be done in a text.
You asked for ideas. We didn't say it was realistic.
Job security.
One of the things I actually really did like about the original encyclopedia was the stories about like the trial wars in the 100 Years and how the 10 nations were formed. You know, it was just little snippets of stories of the back history. It wasn't, it wasn't canon. It wasn't really directly related to the story, but it fleshed out the world. And it doesn't have to be long or anything, but I really did enjoy those. And then the sections about each of the nations and each of the people, about their cultures and their habits and their dress and how they interact with each other. And that just really added extra layers of depth to the story. Saying, oh, okay, I know why that person is freaking out is because, they're from Terrebonne and they're all crazy. Those really added to the main storyline to read those in the encyclopedia.
To add on that, it was like, just to use an example in the white book, The Land of the Madmen, when they talk about it, it's like as told from someone who saw it at this one time, and this is where the one account came from this one person going around it at this one time. It's just like even just adding those little itty bitty things, and like she said, it just make it that much more interesting to read.
Nice touches.
Yeah.
Back there.
Right. I like lists. So you have your entry for, say, the blacks, the Black Aja, and at the bottom list which Black Aja you would like to reveal to us.
What a spoiler, though.
Which
Which is something we have to think about. Somebody who's started or has gotten up to the Dragon Reborn or buys the encyclopedia.
Unknown Black Aja.
But that is the question.
Well,
Is it a useful book if it has no spoilers? Or is it ruining it for people if it does have spoilers? Because that's,
It's
it's
a
a
big
decision
question.
we've got to.
Well, we don't,
That's
when it
both
comes to
ways.
something online, we already ruined a lot. It's like, the online piece, it's, because anything you write in the book is going to be online eventually, and it's going to spoil for somebody in the sense that they go looking. So whether or not they would buy a book, read through it previous to reading the series, it's probably nothing you'll ever be able to control.
But they
Now,
might buy the encyclopedia
thinking-
early on.
Yeah,
in
thinking
their
that it's not going to
series.
have anything. That's true. That's
Gee,
tough.
all these names, want something that's going to keep things straight for me. And then they get the whole.
The Black Aja list doesn't seem.
What? He died?
The problem though with doing non-spoiler is that where do you stop the spoiling?
Yeah.
Once you had a chapter.
Part of his whole thing, I mean, I've heard him say, is that he didn't want to end everything. He wants to leave lots of openings.
Yes, that's true.
And you can't and to spoil some things would be closing them, like finishing them off in the encyclopedia. And obviously, you can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not talking unpublished spoilers.
No, yeah.
We're talking.
the material that's there.
Oh, the material that's there, yeah, well, yeah, then, I mean, it's already there, most of it is already there
Well,
for people to find.
would an entry for Baron
Yeah,
say
what's,
what it needs to
she
say?
has a cool owl.
But
I want that owl.
So I do have a question, and this goes along to what Juan there. Do we have more information about the other Forsaken, or the 13 that we have? Did he write anything else about the other Dreadlords or Forsaken that were in the list? These are the top 13 that we have. Or is that a repo?
Okay, assuming we have that
Because I was
information.
gonna have to record you at this.
Assuming we have
I've already given.
Oh.
Always got a match.
No, so assuming we have that information, I would love to see that information about these other people that certainly are, that were still, that maybe were involved in important things in the Age of Legends or in the 100 Year War that we just don't hear about, if he hasn't.
I would like to kind of have an explanation of everybody's accents, the English, or the English version of, okay, this group of people speak in a southern drawl, these group of people speak in a, Spanish, or, that kind of thing, what their accents should sound like.
Like the Strong Chandler Texan.
Yeah.
And the Illionaires are Dutch. That could be kind of.
Yeah.
We have one back there, and then Stripes, and then. Do you guys have one? Yes, go ahead.
Just a straight opinion from a fan about spoilers. I don't care. The books is so rich, so detailed, so involved, that knowing that somebody died in book 12 doesn't spoil it for me in book 8.
No way you're gonna remember it all. Stripes and Coop, then back Stripes.
I've always been fascinated with wind power, so any kind of weavings and how Sidene and Sidar and how they differ, but do the same thing, anything like that, I would really like to see.
So like a comparison and contrast?
Kind of, yeah.
I think it'd be nice just to have an official list of descriptions for the sword forms.
We should go through the DragonCon programming and just see like the panels that have had a lot of interest and JordanCon too, and pull that together and see where we're drawing people. Stripes back there.
This goes back to the spoiler thing also. What she said was somewhere in the middle books when you have the chapters where you follow one guy for a long time and you go back to the other one. I went online to look for, who was this character? And then just so happened the spoiler was the very next line.
Oh.
And I can't stop from seeing it, so you see it, but like you said, it doesn't take anything away, so you still read the books, and it's like, the impact wasn't destroyed, but like, I can see where your concern is. So if you're gonna do something like a spoilers, maybe like divide it into sections, so if you are gonna spoilers, don't have the spoilers anywhere next to the.
That's
Yeah.
But actually, starting, almost everything's gonna be a spoiler for a beginner.
Yeah, and really,
Just put
maybe you could put a little first page saying, don't read this till after you've read the military.
I got a really angry note from a copy editor on the Eye of the World when old Fire Eyes gets it. Said, "This is ridiculous. You've got 5 more books to go. You can't kill him now." I just crossed it out. I didn't even show it to Joe.
Most of us don't just read the books once. And so we are already spoiled every time we start over, but we still want an encyclopedia we can use.
Still
And
get
without the
just as
spoilers,
Yeah.
it's not as helpful when we're trying to figure out, now, who is that person who did this?
Well, and half the fun is rereading and saying, oh, I never noticed the significance of this. And going back from the Gathering Storm and finding out about Baron, you can go back and start at the beginning,
Yeah,
which
the
I did,
hindsight.
and find all the clues leading up to what you do find out. So,
Blackshear?
I don't remember which series it was. It was another series that I read that had multiple books, and they did a compendium, and they organized it so that, like, book 1, the information on the characters in book 1, and then book 2. So they divided it that way. So if you've only read to book 3, you don't go down unless you want to willingly go into book 4 and see the spoiler. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I throw it out to you for an idea of organization.